It's Father's Day, Sunday morning. It's 6:30 local time. I'm in the follow car with Greg Mason and Dex Took, and this is George. As you can see, as I sort of pan around, the mountains are largely gone. There's a plateaus out there. I'm calling it a plateau. It's probably the wrong word, but it's flat. And what's really exciting right now is we're actually going around a turn. Roads have been incredibly straight. We are in eastern Colorado. We left the mountains behind. Mark had a massive day of climbing yesterday, 4 mountain passes. But this morning, the road bike, the climbing bike, is up on the roof racks, and Mark's on. It's really a road bike, but it's set up a little bit more for the flats. It's got some, like an aero bar setup with a. You call that a bullhorn, Mark? What is that? Bullhorns. It gives them multiple positions, so it's not just about being more aero. The hands take a real beating in ramps, and so, you know, when we come up, you're going to see that Mark is more aerodynamic and better able to cut through the wind. This does take some pressure off the hands. You can see they're just sort of hanging out there, and that shot just kind of shows the more aerodynamic look. And then that shows another position. Gives a way to find some comfort on the bike, which has actually been kind of the word of the morning, as he's kind of each morning after that time of rest, the butt has to go back on the seat, and there's usually some language that goes with that, but you've got to kind of find the right spot. So yesterday, like I said, big climbing day. Today we'll cross the 1,300 mile mark in about 20 miles or so. Hoping for a good day on the plains. I'm here with Greg Mason, who knows Mark from many years ago, working internationally in Japan. This is Greg's first year helping with Mark's last ram, because there's been a lot of last rams. And I'm just curious, what do you think in your first couple of days of following Mark around and driving?
I think the biggest thing is just the amount of time on the bike. Just trying to get my head around the fact that you're on the bike for 24 hours a day, and you pretty much live on the bike. You eat, you drink, and we just come up and provide food and sustenance along the way, change out lights and that sort of thing. I think from my perspective, being on the crew, the thing that struck me for the first time is the sleep deprivation. I slept last night for the first time in 2 days, and it was only 6 hours, but it felt like I'd been sleeping for a week. And I think just the lack of time, sort of personal time between, getting off the shift with the crew, getting to the hotel. It's all about getting some food in, having a shower, and trying to get some sleep. So I think that, for me, the sleep deprivation's been the toughest part so far. But it's been fantastic. We've been through the deserts, we've been over the Rockies. So we get to see, America. We're driving across, and now we're in the plains. And today, for me as a driver, it's been a good day because there's no traffic. I think we've had about 3 or 4 cars past us so far. We've been on the road since about 3 a.m. It's now 6:35. There've been a few white knuckle moments where we've had some tractor trailers coming by very close to the car. And of course, the main thing when we're on direct follow at the moment is riding behind Mark and trying to protect him from that traffic. So far so good. We're halfway through. I'm looking forward to sleeping all weekend next weekend.
Very good. Thank you for your thoughts.
Yeah.
And the job that Dex is doing in the back is fishing out all that food that Greg was just talking about, and switching and getting clothing and all the supplies, the different gear. I mean, we go from 115 degrees in the desert to 50 degrees yesterday morning. That's different gear, different clothes, and Dex, who knows a heck of a lot about Ram, having competed twice himself, is the one that's fishing it all out. What's your Ram been like so far this year, Dex?
Well, it's a different Ram for me crewing. This is my 8th time to crew, but this is my first time to be the domestique or the handler in the back seat. And so I'm learning a new ropes to Ram. And I'm also on a different shift than I've ever been on as a crew member. I'm on what I would call the day shift, and I've always been a night shift person. So I'm adjusting to getting the sleep cycle down now, because I'm like Greg, I'm not getting that much sleep. But being the handler and trying to the hardest part for me was getting through the desert, because we had ice vests, we had ice bras, we were running out of ice, we were hundreds of miles before we could get to a convenience store to get ice, and the temperatures were unbelievably hot, and it was just a very hard time to try to keep Mark cool and keep him going through the desert. And it was a lot of work for me back here, but I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't be anywhere else in the world in June. This is where I want to be, so it's good for me.
Awesome, thanks, Dex. And man of the hour is on the bike, obviously, and I've tried to pick his audio up through the speaker that's in my ear, but that really hasn't seemed to work very well. So I'll just ask Mark if he's got anything to say. Oh, there's Leah. It's cool. Leah's down for this sessions. Ram is about competition, but it's also about the incredible camaraderie that happens between crews and racers. It is a massive undertaking, and it's a family of people with this common goal while it's competitive. The other thing that's kind of really amazing that just happened, for the first time ever in Mark's Ram career, he is the first place rider on the road. Yeah. Right. So this is a big deal for this to happen, and to be recording it at the moment that Mark actually passed Leah to be in first place, which is pretty awesome on the road. Previously, he was first because he started behind Leah and was leading. Even though he wasn't first on the road, but it's pretty cool to be a part of this moment. It's been an unbelievably different Ram. We have different competitors this year. It's been just a brutally hard race. The times, when you're flipping through the scorebook and looking at different times and well, this Ram was in this many days or that Ram was in that many days. People, if you look at this one and just look at the times, it'd be like, oh, well, that was an off year. It's an unbelievably hard year this year, and everybody that finishes is going to have something to savor as a massive accomplishment. So this has been a long report on the road, but we're thoroughly enjoying being here, and we're headed towards Kansas. Hopefully later this afternoon we'll see Kansas, and we'll be checking in with you. But that's the terrain for now. You can see it's dead flat, and the wind can really affect our day, so we'll keep posted on that.